Hi, this is the Alchemist Astrologer, and this is the February Inside Out reading for Gemini Sun, Gemini Rising, and Gemini Moon. So first we're going to look at your conscious desires. These are your known intentions. These are the desires that you are actively pursuing. You're openly telling yourself this and other people about why you're doing what you're doing. You have the Ace of Swords, engagement, and radiate. So for some of you, there's the recognition of some kind of agreement. It could have to do with socializing in some way. It could have to do with the way you express yourself, something that either highlights you or another person, puts either of you at the center of attention. There's some kind of agreement or proposal or offer on the table. Now maybe this has to do with an actual piece of jewelry. Maybe somebody's buying a ring that's really sparkly. Maybe this is a diamond ring. A proposal is in the offing. So there's some kind of agreement that you're looking at and you want to get to the truth or the bottom of a situation. It could be maybe you're cutting out some of your social engagements because it's just taking too much attention away from other needs that you have. Again, maybe this is about something that's going to let you shine with your talents or your self-expression or gaining some kind of confidence, or it ties to your creativity. In other situations, either you or someone you're involved with may be very self-absorbed in what they're doing. They're oblivious to any kind of overtures. And it could be that you may find yourself in a situation where there's a hesitancy to make that first move. You're waiting on the other person. Again, and this could be in connection to some kind of social activity. It could be a promise, could be a party, it could be a social event, it could be some kind of undertaking or a binding agreement between you and another person. Whatever this is, you're recognizing that you could be vulnerable. Either you're going to have a great gain or something is going to cost you a great deal of money or on some other kind of level. So there's you're in one of two camps. There's either some hesitancy to move forward on something, or you're looking at something differently. There's a new way of thinking, a new way of relating. Perhaps you're having some very important discussions that open up your perspective, or you're offering that to someone else. So there's a conscious desire to either gain recognition or to recognize some kind of agreement, something social, or some kind of contract. Now, what is your unconscious desires? Now, this would be below the surface. This is something that may be even hidden to you. It's below your awareness. So these are desires that are perhaps driven by suppressed memories or painful experiences or emotions that you're stuffing down that are continuing to exert influence over your behavior without you even realizing it. And very often, these desires can be at odds with your conscious desire. And it can be the real motivation behind your actions, in spite of what you may be saying or openly projecting. Now, you have the Six of Cups, the future, and shadow. So you have a card that ties to the past and one that ties to the future. So you may be seeking some kind of exchange based on some nostalgia, goodwill, sentimentality, where you're reviewing the past. It could be a connection to an old friend, an old lover, people that feel like family, could be your children. And maybe there's something being offered. Again, there's an agreement with regard to some kind of social function, could be a piece of jewelry. So there's a gift in the future, but maybe there's some fears about that, some illusion. Somebody is feeling manipulated. Now, somebody could be perhaps shadowing someone. They're stalking, and by stalking I mean like searching on social media. There's some fears perhaps about creating a relationship or making plans that tie to the future. Or you're looking at your long-range goals, what's at the end of the road. And for some of you, maybe the social engagement is to take an actual trip, maybe a road trip. So you're reviewing something. And you're going to have a chance to have some exchanges. And perhaps this is going to connect to the past, and it also has a bearing on your future. Maybe you want this, but there's some kind of fear. Maybe you're afraid that you're going to have to connect to somebody from your past that you really don't want to, or you're afraid that you won't be able to build a future with someone that you care about. Those may be unfounded fears. These, again, are your repressed unconscious desires. But what is it, in spite of whatever you desire, whatever is going on with you, what is it that you actually need? You have the Strength card, the One, and nostalgia. So again, there's the strength of the past. Could be a family tie, a friendship, your memories, could be your ancestry, your heritage, or spirit guides contacting you. But there's something about strength, your physical strength, your strength of character. This is about being loyal, steadfast. So it could have to do with your loyalty to a friendship or an old lover or the future. And you're required to perhaps master your ego. That may be tied to something you've idealized. Now, perhaps this is something romantic. You have connected to someone. Maybe they're from your past, or they feel very familiar to you, or it's a very karmic connection. This is somebody that embodies all of the traits that you admire. This is the ideal partner, marriage material, somebody that's worth waiting for. For some of you, this is about the strength of your talents. Maybe you're going to be getting some recognition. You're receiving some kind of gift or good fortune. Now, some of you, perhaps this ties to a gift, a piece of jewelry. Maybe you're giving that or you're receiving that. Maybe you're trying to keep quiet about it. You want to keep that under wraps. So this is about mastering your ego and taking control of a situation in a positive way, not allowing your fear or your doubt to get the better of you, feeling like you might be rejected or feeling like you might end up alone, or maybe there's something you've been holding back that you need to say that you've been suppressing, and there's a fear that there are going to be some repercussions if you say it. So this is about, again, your strength of character and knowing that if you've given your best, then you've done the best you can do. And so you can't allow other people to guilt trip you into anything. And that means settling for less or taking something that you really don't feel is worthy of who you are. So this is the strength of a connection to either that ideal person or receiving some kind of good fortune. And you may need to take the lead as far as moving that forward. For some of you, this may be a strong tie to a Leo person. Now, the positive influence is this King of Pentacles, illusions, and kindred spirits. So the positive influence would be the circumstances, the people, the emotions, the conditions that are helping you some way and contributing to a positive outcome. So you are trying to establish something and put it on solid footing for the long term, something that may yield great results for you, either emotionally or financially. This could be new business ventures or just establishing a solid relationship. And there's a tendency for you to look closely at your connections, again, to see if they are reliable, dependable, if you can count on them. Is this something that's worthy of the long term? For some of you, there may be a tie to an earth sign person, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising, male or female, or just the traits of this king. Again, this is a king who wants to establish something, open new doorways financially or emotionally. And so for some of you, you're taking a closer look at something, your friendships, collaborative efforts, partnerships, and perhaps even the need to play or socialize in some way, connect with people who have, the like mind that you share. So you're dealing with some kind of illusions. Maybe you're taking a closer look at your connections, or you're taking a look at yourself to see where in some cases you've been operating under an illusion, or there's just been a concern for appearances, whatever that means, whether it's wealth or status or good looks. So you're taking a closer look, and that's a positive thing. Now, the negative influence would be this Three of Swords, dead end, harmony. So there's some kind of frustration, grief, heartbreak, or worry that you're experiencing where you've met with a dead end. You don't have peace about a situation. Maybe something that you wanted is not exactly falling into place. You're having to make some kind of a decision. You're frustrated about trying to seek harmony, either with yourself or someone else. And it seems that perhaps you've been in a situation where you make progress, you move forward, and then perhaps 2 steps back. Something seems to take off, and then the door closes. So there's something that doesn't have resolution. Maybe some third-party interference, or maybe you're having to deal with issues that are legal in nature. Maybe there's something to do with a love triangle. So you're trying to seek some kind of harmony, and if you were totally vested in a particular outcome, this may be challenging for you to deal with if things don't play out the way you'd hoped. But if this is something that you already, to some degree, expected, you're able to move on and get on with things. Now, what's at the heart of this situation? You have carnival, magic, and some flowers are only meant to last for a season. So for some of you, something is being revealed. You're taking a closer look. You're pulling the curtain back to look at something that may tie to some form of entertainment or amusement, or where you've just been thrill seeking. It could be you're involved in a relationship and you're starting to realize that this is not for the long term. This is just about having fun. It could be friends with benefits, or you're looking at a relationship that feels good, it's exciting, but you don't know if it's going to develop into something deeper. And maybe you're looking at whether this is just, an experience. It's not meant to go any further. For some of you, this ties to travel or transportation, a vehicle, taking a ride, or, feeling the exhilaration about something that it's just about the thrill. So that's at the heart of your situation. Now, what's the call to action? You have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So you are perhaps having to put forth more effort, or you're waiting for someone else to do that. And you're looking at a relationship, or where you've been involved with relationships that really didn't go anywhere. They might have been fun, thrilling, but they didn't have any substance. So it's time for one of you to make that effort. You also have seriously. So you may feel like, look, I've been putting in, all of the effort and I'm not getting a return, or vice versa. There's something about making the effort where one of you may feel like you're having to go above and beyond. So again, there is the truth about something connected to the past. Whether you should cut something off or whether you should dig deeper. And maybe sometimes that means like repressing something, not speaking your truth. So knowing what to say and what not to say could have a bearing on a connection. And there's some recognition tied to the past, and perhaps something that's not quite out in the open, or there's some fears about getting the recognition, or whether you're being ignored, or whether you're ignoring someone. And it may tie to, an engagement. It could be a gift of jewelry that ties to the future, or getting some kind of good fortune, some kind of promise that ties to a long-range goal. There's something that's going to be revealed about a collaboration, whether that's friendship or business partnership, trying to create harmony, or whether you're just struggling and should accept that something is not going to come together. There's some kind of illusion about something. You're having to take a closer look at perhaps how you amuse yourself, how you distract yourself, how you have fun, and whether you're just meeting with a dead end eventually, or perhaps this is about travel or a vehicle. So appearances are important. And you want to establish something for the long term, but it's going to require that you make some effort, and you may be frustrated by the outcome, or there could be some interference, and that's the real issue. All right, Gemini, now that you know what's at the heart of your situation for February, head over to Vimeo to find out what you can change, what you can't, and the end of the story. And I want to thank you for sharing your time and space. Please be sure to like and subscribe. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Love Indie decks featured in this reading, the link is down below.